I know, I've been given a hard time about, I don't know, like acting and stuff like that. You know, I got to attack uh, the Strawberry News in the biggest way, and I rolled it all out at the same time because I can't believe people are seeing through my head. You can't see through my head, and not expect me to freak out as an artist. I'm a songwriter. So I've got all these songs out right now, are in for the rest of my life, 10 hours. When I think about film, sometimes there's actually a witch in my head, and she like twists up my mind to make me feel like a loser, actually. When I think about film by myself, I think with my own mind, you know, it's such a great medium in an art form. Film can be so artistic for me to explore as an artist. It's film, you know? Um, and this witch twists up my mind because I think there's like a stigma with people and leading actors. Like if you're in the film, but it's mostly about you, that's the leading actor. And that's the only thing I'd be doing, right? Like in a film. And yeah, uh, wow, man, like, I'm 31 years old. Um, these are the things that I go through. I look a little sick in the face right now because, I don't know, like I can't get blood flow to my eyes or something, like the witch is putting blood in my eye sockets or something like that. And I have to run on the treadmill to like look healthier again. One of the times it happened overnight, I'd look like black in the eye. Um, and, you know, um, I'm gonna have a mole removed actually, from my face. And, the same thing that twists up that film acting stuff in my head, it's actually that same sort of like a total twist and knot, like a knot in my head. And I don't think about acting like that or being seen on camera like that or this mole I'm having removed on my face. Normally, no, not normally, but actually, this witch puts like a knot in my head where like I can't stop thinking about this. It's mostly about this mole I've got on my face, and it's like I'll shave it normally. I've got some portraits. They're really good looking portraits. Like I don't know, like the whole world's staring through me, and like they're giving me, I don't know, because I'm like a white male. I'm a white man, like on camera, like a leading man. Um, my hair and my eyes, I've got this knight look. I look like a knight, like Heath Ledger. And, I love film acting. I love actors, man. I actually am a screenwriter myself. Um, and this witch is making me feel really nerdy and stuff. Or like people hate me, or people hate acting and stuff. And I'm having a really hard time. I'm going through a lot of injury, and I can't work out right now, too. And I think it's just this witch that's been hurting me. I'm glad I got to get out these songs that I've got out because it's, creative freedom for me as a songwriter. All of it. The softer songwriter songs, the harder rock, that's so cool. Right? Life is so beautiful. The hard rock? Whoa, we need hard rock. With the songwriting, we need that psychedelic rock music. You need me. You need me. And I've got this knot in my head, and I need people to believe me. And I know I've been suffering from witchcraft, but I need you to believe that, film isn't bad. Our film isn't like, too nerdy. And that, theater's beautiful. I need you to believe me, and I need you to believe that I believe myself, even because this witch is putting knots in my head. And it's actually, mostly I'll think about the arts, right? That's all I could do. Songs or like movies, film, or whatever, anything to do with sharing this world together with each other. That's what it does. You take a picture like on your phone and it's like an iPhone commercial. You post it. That's like that's an art form. That's an art form. Some people don't like taking pictures, like they're too manly or something like that. It's just a picture and we like share them on social media. Some people hate social media because it's like their face. I don't know. Anyways, I wanted people to get out of that. I'm not like that. I've got my own camera. People have got to believe that I love film, right? I've got my own camera. I'm a shooter myself. And I take video and I take pictures, something like a director type to myself. Except I put the camera on me because I'm the Strawberry News, I'm the songwriter making this psychedelic rock. I need you to believe, that it's beautiful. And mostly when I get this knot in my head, it's actually about my face. And I don't know what to do because I've never... Dude, this witch is putting like scars on my face. And I've got like knots in my head. And it's about like the scars that she's putting on my face. And this hasn't happened to anybody in the world. In world history. And some of this stuff from people out there, it's real like mean-spirited about filmmaking. I've got a camera. I shoot, or I had a camera. I had to sell it. I stayed in my car. I was afraid. I'm afraid all the time of this witch in my head. And I need people to change. And, believe that, this is really beautiful stuff. In these songs I put out there, there's going to be some sadness. And there's going to be some really explosive, powerful moments. And there's going to be a cry. Because that's just about all we experience in our world, in our worlds. When we share it with each other, pictures, videos, phone calls, we get all that stuff. So I just put all that stuff in the Strawberry News. That's why I love film so much, acting. Because I got to really explore that stuff. The really explosive power we get to feel. Crying, sorrow. Life can be really sad. And then it can be really powerful. And that's what theater really gets to explore. And then what we do is we carry cameras and we take pictures and video and we get to share that stuff. I got to write all these songs. And it's not even normal to be a songwriter. And it's so crazy because, man, this witch is putting a knot in my head. And I wanted to talk about what it's like going through this witchcraft. It's like a really big irritation in my head. I don't normally think about this mole on my cheek, but time to time I have, and I suffer from really bad witchcraft. Although it even bleeds sometimes when I'm shaving, I'm gonna get it removed. I just called to see if my insurance can get off. And, wow, man, like, I don't know what sort of world I got to live in, or what sort of people got to really mess up because of this one right here. You know, when we're like taking each other out or we're celebrating each other, you know, let's make sure we're doing it some cool way, like a cool way. Anyways, you know, I love film. I don't think it's normal for like maybe an actor even to have a camera and shoot. More like a director thing. I've had a couple cameras. I lost my cameras, you know, I had to sell them because I just suffer from this witchcraft and I can't live in some real life. I don't have like a real big job. I just suffer from witchcraft, who's making me feel like a loser, a total loser for, you know, loving songwriting and acting and being seen on camera. And it's pretty much about being seen on camera. For me, that she can't stand. I got to get some nice pictures of myself, headshots or portraits. I've got them in my room and some from my childhood. And I'm glad I put those up, man, because I've got a witch stuck in my head and no one's helping me out. And I really need some help. Like when I think about this thing that's going on, it's not seriously the craziest thing to have a small mole. It's really not on your cheek. It like for me, it's like it's just on my cheek. It's not like in an awkward spot, cause it's like there's so much space on my cheek. It's like even more symmetrical, I guess. Like a worse spot would be like on your nose or something like that, or like your lip. I don't know. But it's like such a big knot in my head, and I don't normally have to go through it. But yeah, I don't like see it in these portraits and stuff. But you know, I'm really going through this stuff, and now it's gonna be about how much of like a gorgeous knight I look like. You know, like Heath Ledger and stuff like that. And you know, I love to share these moments with people, and I really wanted everybody to change because it's a really good life and we could just live in it together. And I've got all these scars and stuff appearing on my face now. I'm just going to have them removed and stuff. And it might have always been that way. I was a fat kid. I was a fat kid. And sure, I like to eat food and stuff, but I have these urges now to like eat, or like feel like I'm starving. And I think it's this witchcraft, you know. So I wanted people to live in the world with me, you know, when I get to really start doing it. We get to be in this together. Okay.